What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be talking about the Winnipeg Jets and their training camp so far and some things that I've taken away from it, because there are some big positives that I definitely want to spew on here, but there's a lot of things that I'm worried about as well. There's actually quite a bit of storylines, good and, not so encouraging, so let's get on into them. Let's start with the good. Brad Lambert and Nikita Chibrikov, they're fighting for roster spots. Do I think they're going to get spots? I actually do think they have a shot. Brad Lambert is fighting for that 2C spot, and if you read between the lines, in that first preseason game, he was on a line with Gabe Vilardi and also on the wing, Alex Iafallo. Iafallo has been filling in really all training camp for Cole Perfetti, so was this supposed to be, a Cole Perfetti, Brad Lambert, Gabe Vilardi line? I think that's a lot of fun. We'll talk about Perfetti in just a second. Of course, no contract, not at training camp right now, but I love the idea of Cole Perfetti on a line with Brad Lambert, who has that blazing speed, and Gabe Vilardi, who just goes to the net. Cole feeding Vilardi all the time would be awesome. Of course, Vilardi right in front of the net, that's where he scores most of his goals. Just a dog, goes to the net. And then you have Brad Lambert and the elite game-breaking speed that he has. I think that line could be crazy. With Cole's vision and elite passing and playmaking ability and ability to score goals, I really don't see a world where that line wouldn't be nuts. And something else just to say, in the scrimmage at FanFest, Kyle Connor was on a line with Mark Scheifele and Nikolai Ehlers. That line works very well together, as we've seen in the past, so Scott Arniel definitely taking a look at some different lines. That was on the same day that preseason game was played, where Gabe Vilardi was playing with Brad Lambert and Alex Iafallo. Obviously Iafallo, as I said before, the fill-in for Cole Perfetti. So I think that'd be really cool. One thing I've noticed with Lambert as well, he's very defensively responsible. He doesn't really have any holes in his game that I think are super blatant. Maybe he takes a little bit of time finding his offense, but I think playing with Cole Perfetti and Gabe Vilardi, that kind of unlocks itself. I think he'll be getting a lot of help, and I think that, truthfully, that would be the best case scenario for him. He's shown some flashes. We're only 2 preseason games in. They've only played Lambert in the one, so we'll see what happens by the end of training camp and preseason here. But I do think that Brad does have a decent shot at least at making the team. And if he does go to the Moose, I don't think it'll be for very long. The Jets desperately need some speed in this lineup. Of course, Nikolai Ehlers, the speed demon. But after that, really, who besides Brad Lambert is bringing the speed? Not a lot of guys on this team are very quick. Scheifele and Connor, yes, fast, but there's really nobody with that groundbreaking speed, and I think that the Jets would benefit big time from Brad Lambert being in the lineup and being in the top 6. That was a lot about Lambert. Chibrikov, on the other hand, he has been showing out. He's, probably my favorite prospect that the Jets have right now, and he has been looking real good. Fast, physical, scoring goals. Again, pretty short and sweet with him. I don't know if he's going to get a spot just because of all the veterans in front of him, unfortunately. I think that he's, probably brings a lot more than a guy like Alex Iafallo or a Mason Appleton. Obviously, those guys are going to have their roles. But Chibrikov, I do imagine, will start with the Moose, but I don't know how you can deny him for very long if he keeps showing up in the AHL regular season early on like he's been showing out here. He's looked damn good, and he's feisty, man. For a smaller guy at 5'9", that guy's pretty damn good, so keep an eye on Nikita Chibrikov. I do think if he makes a team, he can make a lot of noise this season. So that's some good news. Some stuff that's kind of freaking me out is the defense. The defense took a blow this past week with Ville Heinola finding out that he's got an infection in his ankle from one of the screws that he got repairing his ankle last season when he had that massive injury when he had surgery. So we've been told it's not short term. I've seen a lot of people speculating that it's, roughly between 6 to 8 weeks to recover, and obviously he's going to have antibiotics. This really sucks because the bottom pairing this season, I really do believe, would have been Heinola and Colin Miller to start the year. I do think that Ville can come back and, win the spot, but he's going to need a conditioning stint. He's going to need to get back up to speed. And it's just another roadblock in front of Ville Heinola, and I really feel for the guy because I feel like every time he does get his chance, something stupid happens to him. So I feel for Ville here. Obviously, he's on the shelf. But now, what do they do with the bottom pairing? Colin Miller is going to be the guy on the right-hand side, but who's going to be on the left? It's probably going to be Logan Stanley or Hayden Fleury at this point. Hayden Fleury didn't really impress in the first game. Dylan Coughlin is an option too, but he's a right-shot defense. I don't know if he can play left. I have really no idea about him, but that's kind of what we're looking at. And looks like Logan Stanley got away with it again, guys. It looks like he may start the year on that bottom pairing. I don't have much faith in Logan Stanley. If you've watched the channel for a long time, I know a lot of you guys don't either. But that kind of just seems, you know, where we're at right now. Unless the Jets pick somebody up off waivers, it looks like Stanley's going to be the bottom pairing left shot defense to start the year. But yeah, it looks like Ville Heinola going to be on the shelf again. I don't imagine we'll see him until November at the earliest. It would be kind of interesting to see what happens though when he does come back, because the Jets can't assign him to the Moose unless it's a conditioning stint, as he is on a one-way contract, so he would have to go on waivers. I don't imagine the Jets are going to do that, as he would obviously get claimed. I wonder if, you know, they're open to put Logan Stanley on waivers. I don't really know, but again, we'll have to see what the future holds. But the defense, kind of worrying. Obviously, Morrissey and DeMello, very good pairing, very solid pairing. The second pairing, Dylan Sandberg needs to take a huge step this season, and Neil Pionk needs to make sure that he's not playing like an ECHL defenseman, because good God, last season and the season before were really, really, really bad. I know reports came out that he was playing with a broken foot for the past 2 years, and obviously that's going to contribute a little bit, but some of his decisions need to be better. He needs to be better all around, and he needs to play like a top 4 defenseman if the Jets are going to be able to make some noise this year, because outside of that top pairing, it could be really scary for the Jets on defense, and that's something I'm going to be watching all season. Now, going over to off-ice stuff, Cole Perfetti, still without a contract. I really did think at this point we would have at least seen him sign a bridge deal. I do think a bridge deal will be coming shortly. I don't see him really missing any regular season time, but he's really dug in here, and good on him, you know, like I know he wants to get his money, but I imagine it's going to be a 2 to 3 year bridge deal. I know he's open to long term. I don't think the Jets are necessarily so keen on signing the long term deal or the money that Cole wants, you know, in a long term deal, which is really unfortunate. I think that, you know, locking him up now would probably be the best bet, especially if he's open to it. I'm kind of worried right now that, you know, we're getting to the point where Cole's been playing nice. He went to the Las Vegas media tour for the Jets. He represented them there. That's something that's, you know, pretty uncommon considering he doesn't have a contract in the middle of negotiations. That was, you know, kind of cool of him to do, and he's putting his neck out there for him. It's not like he's, you know, being disgruntled or anything yet, at least, but I'm worried we're getting there as the season is about to start and Cole is still without a contract. If I'm the Jets, I'm trying to get this done ASAP, 2 to 3 year bridge deal, get him into training camp, get him going, and you know, get him ready for the season. I do think that Cole's going to have a big year this year. Big chance for him to break out, especially if he's playing with Lambert and Velarde. Of course, we'll, you know, probably see different lines throughout the first, you know, quarter half of the season, but should be very interesting. I think Cole's going to be a big player. I have no doubt that he'll be signed before the regular season starts, but you know, still yet to be seen. I do like how, you know, it seems to be pretty civil right now, and there's just, you know, just a straight up disagreement on the money, but I need him to get signed, man. It's stressing me out a little bit now. I wasn't stressed last week, but I'm getting there now. So I hope that everything stays civil, he ends up with a contract, and that would be golden. But that's all I got today, guys. Let me know what you guys think about training camp in the preseason thus far and some of the storylines. Do you think Brad Lambert's going to make the team? Do you think Nikita Chibrakov's going to make the team? And do you think that Cole Perfetti will have a contract by the regular season? Let me know. But yeah, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Go Jets, go. Bye-bye.